Hello dear students, welcome back to Baladri Chemistry classes. Please like and subscribe my channel, click the bell icon for the latest updates and share these videos with JEE and NEET aspirants. Now in this session, we are going to come across about a periodic classification. How that elements are classified, we are going to come across in this video. So periodic classification and periodic properties are very important for all the inorganic chemistry chapters. So in this session we are going to come across about periodic classification. Now nearly 120 elements are discovered. So in this inorganic chemistry we need to remember all these 120 elements, their properties, everything will be important. But remembering this 120 elements is not a easy task. It's great difficult. See, you may remember in 8th or 9th standard your madam or sir said to learn the 30 elements. Still I remembered when they are asking to learn these 30 elements, what we used to do, first 5 elements we are going to by heart first. Hydrogen, helium, hydrogen, helium and lithium, beryllium, boron, like that first 5 elements we used to learn. After getting these 5 elements, next we used to learn that remaining 5. Beryllium, boron, after the carbon, nitrogen and oxygen, fluorine, neon. Like that, the 30 elements we divided into 5 elements, different parts. Again 1 to 10, then after 11 to 15, again 1 to 15. Like this, several times we tried strongly, and finally we will get the 30 elements. But in the next class, if sir is asking what is the 25th element, a man stand up and say what is the 25th element. Again will come from first in the mind, hydrogen, helium, lithium. So 25th manganese may come, iron may come, cobalt may come in the earlier beginning status. Okay, you went back to your 8th or 9th standard, no? This is the way we used to prepare that elements. So remembering 30 elements only this much difficult. Now how can we remember 1 to 2 elements, sir? It's a great difficulty. So to solve this problem, to mitigate this problem, so they also thought that remembering all these elements will be 1 to 120 is very difficult. So they try to classify the elements into different categories. Right? On what basis we need to classify the elements? That is a question is there in front of them. So there are many people. So you may listen these names. I'm not going to in detail about the failures periodic classifications. Directly we will discuss modern periodic law only. Now just briefly let me explain. First person who gave that triad system. Okay, Daubernier triads. Three elements are having same properties, and first last element atomic weight average will give you middle element atomic average. So the people, they strongly believe that there is a relation between atomic weight to element property. There are different elements because of difference in their atomic weight, they believed. So elements are showing different properties because of difference in their atomic weights, they thought. That's what everyone, they try to classify their elements based on their atomic weights only. Daubernier triads you can take, and you can take Newland actives. This Newland actives also is based on the atomic weights. Arrange the elements in the order of increasing atomic weights. First element, eighth element, there is a relation, similarity is there, like Sarigama Padanisa, that Newland actives. After that, you can come across also Luther-Meyer graph, atomic weight versus atomic volume graph. That is a Luther-Meyer graph. This is also one of the classification. And there is a one more person called D. Charcontius. D. Charcontius also is given his classification based on the atomic weights only. And well-known person, Mendeleev, Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, the major contribution was given towards this classification of elements by Mendeleev. But even Mendeleev also, he tried to classify the elements based on their atomic weights. After all this, so right, now the new long form of periodic table was given by Moseley's equation. What is that equation called? Moseley's equation. He is the first person who said that there is a systematic relationship between property of the element to atomic number. So different elements are there, they are exhibiting different properties because of their difference in atomic weight, not because of difference in atomic weight. They are different because of difference in their atomic number, not because of atomic weight. That was said by Moseley. So the modern periodic law, whatever we are following nowadays, it is based on Moseley's equation, and Moseley's equation says that there is a systematic relationship between property of the element to atomic number. Nu is the frequency of the X-ray used. Z is the atomic number. A and B are the constants. So based on this equation, modern periodic law is constructed. So modern periodic table, that is called long form of periodic table. Now in this session we are going to discuss about this long form of periodic table. This long form of periodic table is constructed based on Moseley's equation. So what is this modern periodic law, sir? You can ask. Modern periodic law. So modern periodic law is the long form of periodic table is constructed based on this modern periodic law. Let me give the definition for what is that modern periodic law, how elements are classified. The physical and chemical properties. The physical and chemical properties. The physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions the physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number or electronic configuration. Listen very carefully. What is the meaning of this? The physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number or electronic configuration. So the physical and chemical properties of the elements are changing because of their change in atomic number or electronic configuration. So that elements are arranged in the long form of periodic table based on their electronic configurations only. Okay. Now here you can take long form of periodic table. Elements are arranged in horizontal rows and vertical columns. That horizontal rows are called periods and vertical columns are called groups. Elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic numbers. In horizontal rows they are called periods. In vertical column they are called groups. In long form of periodic table there are 7 periods and 18 groups. Further, these elements are classified also into blocks. There are 4 blocks in the periodic table. Those are S, P, D, F, S block elements, and there are P block elements. In between them there is D block elements, and bottom of the periodic table there are F block elements. It is a rough diagram of periodic table. So elements are classified into periods, groups and blocks. On what basis how they classified into periods, groups and blocks are, we will come across now. That is based on electronic configuration. Let me explain in detail. Suppose any element atomic number you can take and you can write its electronic configuration. Based on its electronic configuration, we can decide the position of that element in the periodic table. Let us take aluminum element is there. Its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2 and it is 2p6. 13 electrons are there, no? You can arrange the 13 electrons. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1 is the electronic configuration of aluminum. Now in aluminum how many shells are there? 1s means first shell, 2s2p belongs to second shell, 3s3p belongs to third shell. 3 shells are there in aluminum. That's what I am saying here. Aluminum belongs to third period of the periodic table. So how can we decide this periodic period numbers are? Period number is equal to number of shells present in an element. Number of shells present in an atom. How many shells are there? So that element belongs to that particular period. Here 3 shells are there. So aluminum belongs to third period. 4 shells are there. Fourth period. 1 shell is there. First period and so on. So period number of any element is equal to number of shells present in an atom. So here aluminum belongs to third period of the periodic table. Aluminum belongs to third period of the periodic table. Now when 3 shells are there, in any atom, when different number of shells are there, the shell present last is called valence shell. The shell present last is called valence shell. What is the shell called? Valence shell. This valence shell is also called ultimate shell. Valence shell is also called ultimate shell. In that valence shell, whatever the electrons are present are called valence electrons. Now here I can write that number of valence electrons is equal to group number of that element. Number of valence electrons is equal to group number of that element. Now aluminum is having 3 electrons. That's what aluminum belongs to third A group. Third A group, or it is also called 13th group. Third A group is also called 13th group because valence electrons are 3. The shell present last is called valence shell, and the electrons present in valence shell are called valence electrons, and valence electrons is equal to group number. Now the last electron in this aluminum, last electron enters into p subshell. Last electron is entering into p subshell. So that's what this aluminum belongs to p block. Now question is asking, what is the position of aluminum in the periodic table? It belongs to third period, third A group, and p block. And what place of this block is decided, sir? So that last electron, the electron which enters last is called differentiating electron. If differentiating electron enters in p subshell, it will be p block. If differentiating electron enters in S subshell, it will be S block. Differentiating electron enters in D subshell, it will be D block. Based on that, in which subshell that differentiating electron is entering, based on that we can decide the block of that element. Like this, we can decide the period number, group number, and block of the element based on the electronic configuration. Let me take one more example to you. Suppose you can take calcium. Calcium atomic number is 20. You can write this electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. Now you can check how many electrons are there. 20 electrons are there. This is the electronic configuration of calcium. Now when you take calcium electronic configuration, here how many shells are there? 1s means first shell, 2s 2p second shell, 3s 3p third shell, and 4s is the fourth shell. There are 4 shells. How many shells are there? 4 shells are there in calcium. When 4 shells are there, it belongs to fourth period. It belongs to fourth period. 4 shells are there, so it belongs to fourth period. Now the last shell is called valence shell. In that valence shell, how many electrons are there? 2 electrons are there. Valence electrons are 2. When valence electrons are 2, then the group number of element is second A group, or we can say second group. Second A group or second group we can say. And the last electron enters in which subshell? S subshell. So the calcium belongs to S block of the periodic table. So what is the position of calcium in the periodic table? It will be placed in fourth period, second group, and S block. Like that, by knowing the configuration of any element, we can decide its position in the periodic table. Let me give one more example to you. Let us take now scandium. Scandium atomic number 21. You can write its electronic configuration. Scandium electronic configuration is a 1s2, 2s2, and 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, and 3d1. This is the electronic configuration of scandium. Now listen very carefully. How to decide? Now here student will confuse. 1s means first shell, 2s 2p means 2s 2p belongs to second shell, 3s 3p 3d all they belongs to third shell. Don't count 3d is a separate shell. So 3s 3p 3d they belongs to same shell, but the last electron is called differentiating electron that enters in 3d subshell, but it belongs to third shell only. So now this is fourth shell. Here you can see now how many shells are there? 4 shells are there. When 4 shells are there, scandium belongs to fourth period of the periodic table. Scandium belongs to fourth period of the periodic table, and the last electron enters in D subshell, so it belongs to D block. Now listen very carefully. When last electron enters in D subshell, whenever you are deciding group number of that element, you can count 4s and 3d electrons. ns electrons and n-1 d electrons you can count to decide that group number of that D block elements. When last electron enters in D subshell, it comes under D block. Now let us take in ns x electrons are there, in n-1 d y electrons are there. The total number of electrons will become x minus y, x plus y, that will be equal to the group number. Now let us come here, 2 plus 1, 3. So it is called third group or third B group. Sir, what is this third group and third B group, sir? Third B group is Mendeleev nomenclature. Now third group is modern nomenclature. So both we can remember. Whenever D block is there, so B will come. The group number will come B. When S and P blocks are there, the group number will come only A. Because we come across previously, aluminium, last electrons are there in S and P. I said it is a third A group. Now it is D block. That's what I am saying, B group. All B belongs to D block. All A belongs to S and P. Like that, we can decide the position of the element in the periodic table by knowing its atomic number and electronic configuration. Now, I will explain to you how that elements are arranged in the period wise and group wise. Let us take first period of the periodic table. Only two elements are there. Those are hydrogen and helium. Okay, now? Right. Next, why only two elements are placed in first period, sir? You can ask the question. Why only two elements are there in first period, sir? Because periods are based on that how periods are decided based on the number of shells. Therefore, here first period contains only two elements. Those are hydrogen and helium. How many elements are there? Two elements are there. So it is called very short period. Very short period. It is also called shortest period. And you can take second period. Second period, starting element is lithium, ending element is neon. There are 8 elements. It is called short period. And there is a third period. The starting element is sodium and the ending element is argon. Here also there are 8 elements. It is also short period. Now there is a fourth period. Fourth period contains from potassium to krypton. 18 elements are there. And it is called long period. Long period it is. And you can take fifth period. The starting element is rubidium and ending element is what? Xenon. Here there is again 18 elements. It is also called long period. Now you can take sixth period. Sixth period you can take the starting element is cesium, ending element is radon. There are 32 elements. It is called longest period. Here let me write it is longest period. And the last period is seventh period. Still now it is incomplete period. Starting element is francium. It is called incomplete. The last period, seventh period is called incomplete period. Sixth is called longest period. Like that, here first period contains 2 elements. Second period contains 8. Third contains 8. Fourth contains 18. Fifth contains 18. And sixth contains 32. Still now it is incomplete. That seventh period also can be filled with 32 elements. These are the number of elements present in each period wise. Period number is decided based on period number of any element is decided based on number of shells present in that atom. Why hydrogen and helium only present in first periods are? Why not more than that? Because hydrogen 1s1, helium 1s2. These two elements are only having 2 shells. When you take lithium, it is 1s2 and 2s1. There are 2 shells. That's what it belongs to second period. Like that, period number will be decided based on number of shells present in an atom. Now this is period wise classification. Now when come to the group wise, first we will discuss S block. In this slide, we will discuss S block elements. S subshell capacity is 2 electrons. Maximum S subshell contain only 2 electrons. That's what 2 groups are there in S block. What are the 2 groups? First A group and second A group. First A group elements are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Immediately you can ask what about hydrogens are? Hydrogen position we can't decide in the periodic table. It is having certain similarities with first A group. It is having certain similarities with 7th A group. Some of the properties are similar to alkali metals. Some of the properties are similar to 7th A group. That's what position of hydrogen we can't justify in the periodic table. That's what always in the top of the periodic table we will write hydrogen. Now alkali metals, first A group elements means they will start from lithium to francium. All they will have one valence electron. They are behaving chemically same because of having same number of valence electrons. All they will have valence electrons 1. So that's why they belongs to first A group. Lithium is 2s1 and sodium is 3s1, potassium is 4s1, rubidium 5s1, cesium 6s1, francium 7s1. Same number of valence electrons are there. That's what they will behave chemically same. And they are called alkali metals. First group elements are called alkali metals. Now come to the second A group elements. When come to the second A group elements, the second A group elements are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. You can write these atomic numbers also 3, 11, 19, 37 and 55, 87. Just same, here you can add 8, 8, 18, 18, 32. You will get the next element atomic number the group wise. No need to by heart the atomic numbers. In each period, how many elements are there? With that elements you can add. You will get the next element atomic number in the group wise. Now come to the second group elements. They are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. And they are all having configuration Ns2. General configuration is Ns2, and these elements are called alkaline earth metals. Alkali means bases. Their compounds are their compounds will produce bases, and earth metals means they are available in the earth crust. Now you can take the atomic numbers are 4, 12, 20, 38, 56 and 88. And beryllium is having 2s2 configuration, magnesium is having 3s2, calcium 4s2, strontium 5s2, barium 6s2 and radium 7s2. These all the elements are again called s-block elements. Why they are called s-block elements are? Because in these elements last electron enters in s subshell. So s-block elements general electronic configuration ns1 to 2. These are comes under s-block elements. In s-block how many groups are there? Two groups are there. First A group, or we can say first group. Second A group, we can say second group. First A group elements are called alkali metals, general electronic configuration ns1. Second A group elements are called alkaline earth metals, general electronic configuration is ns2. Why they are chemically behaving same? Because of having same number of valence electrons. Now come to the p block elements. Come to the p block elements. When come to the p block elements, p subshell capacity is 6 electrons. P subshell capacity 6 electrons. When 6 electrons capacity is there in p subshell, 6 groups we can write. What are the 6 group? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And their general electronic configuration ns2 np1 to 6. 13th group elements are also called 3a according to Mendeleev's nomenclature. 14th is called 4a, 15th is called 5a, 16 is called 6a, 17 is called 7th a, 18 is called 0 group. Elements let me write here: boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. These are the elements present in 13th group. Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, they belongs to 14th period. Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, they belongs to 15th group. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, they belongs to 16th group. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they belongs to 17th group. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon, they belongs to 0 group or 18th group. All these elements comes under p block. Their general electronic configuration is ns2 np1 to 6. Now when come to here 13th group elements, their general electronic configuration is ns2 np1, 3 valence electrons are there, and 14th group are ns2 np2, and 15th group are ns2 np3, and 16th group elements are general electronic configuration ns2 np4, and 17th is ns2 np5. 0 group elements is ns2 np6. These are the elements present in p block, 13th to 18th group elements. Now come to the next slide. 13th A group elements are called boron family. They are called boron family. These S and p block elements, you have to remember the group wise. Then only we can apply that periodic properties. And 4th A group elements are called carbon family, because starting element is carbon. And 5th A group elements are called nitrogen family, and they are also called nicogens. P silent and T silents, they are called nicogens. So suffocating smell producing compounds. And 6th A group elements you can take, they are called oxygen family, or they are also called chalcogens. The meaning of chalcogens is ores producers. And 7th A group elements are called 17th group elements are called halogens. Halos means sea salts, gens means producers, salt producers. All halogens are salt producers. Now 18th group element you can take that 18th group or 0 group elements are called noble gases. Noble gases we can say, and we can also say that rare gases they are. What we can say, they are rare gases. rare gases, or we can say that zero group elements and inert gases also. These are the names of p block elements. Now here s and p block elements, s and p block elements together called representative elements. What they call? Representative elements. S and p block elements are representative elements except 18th group. Except 18th group, S and p block elements are called representative elements. Did you understand my point? Like this we can come across about S and p block elements. Next, go to the d block. D block, d subshell capacity is how many electrons? D subshell capacity is 10 electrons. That's what 10 groups are there in D block. 10 groups are there in D block. So D subshell capacity is 10 electrons. That's what 10 groups are there. Those groups are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay now. So this 3 is also called third B, 4 is called fourth B, 5 is called fifth B, 6 is called sixth B, 7 is called seventh B, and 8, 9, 10 comes under 8th group, and 11 is called 1B, 12 is called 2B according to Mendeleev's nomenclature. Now here there are again 4 rows, 3D series, 4D series, 5D series, 6D series, row wise if you come, and here the elements are scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. And 4D series elements you can take yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium. Like 5D series, 6D series, especially 3D series elements are very very important. So that atomic numbers are from 21 to 30, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay now. Now 5D series elements can come lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, rhenium, osmium, iridium, platinum, gold, mercury. And 6D series elements you can take actinium, rutherfordium, dubnium, seaborgium, borium, hassium, meitnerium, roentgenium, bromstadium and roentgenium. Bromstadium, roentgenium and cuprinacium. These are the elements. Each row, 4 rows are there. 4D series, 3D series, 4D series, 5D series, 6D series. Each row is having 10 elements. 4 into 10, 40 elements are there in the D block. So in between this lanthanum and hafnium, in between this actinium and rutherfordium, there are F block elements. In between lanthanum to hafnium, 57 to 73 elements. That elements belongs to 4F series, and 90 to 103 they belongs to 5F series. They must be in between that D block elements. So if you keep these elements in the in between D block elements, periodic table will become lengthy. That's what separately they kept in the bottom of the periodic table, that F block elements. Okay now, D block elements electronic configuration, generalized electronic configuration will be NS1 to 2, N-1 D, 1 to 10. This is D block elements configuration. And F block elements electronic configuration is NS1 to 2, N-1 D, 0 to 1, and N-2. Let me write here, N-2. N-2 F1 to 14 is the general electronic configuration of F block. D block elements are generally called transition elements, and F block elements are called inner transition elements. In that 4F series is called lanthanides. After lanthanum they will come, and their 5F is called actinides. So now try to remember that S, P and D block elements. In D block also, no need of remembering all the elements. At least you can try to remember 3D and 4D series. Like this, elements are classified in the periodic table based on that atomic number and electronic configuration. Okay, in the next session, we are going to come across about periodic properties. To apply periodic properties, this period wise and group wise, you need to remember the elements. So So that's all for in this class. We'll meet in the next session with periodic properties. Please like and subscribe my channel. Click the bell icon for latest updates and share with your friends who are preparing for JEE and NEET for all the competitive exams. This chapter is very important. Thank you. We'll meet in the next class. Bye everyone.